Matilda of England, also known as Empress Matilda, was a pivotal figure in 12th century European politics. Born in 1102 to King Henry I of England and Queen Matilda of Scotland, she was the granddaughter of William the Conqueror and heir to the English throne. Her life was marked by political strife, dynastic ambition, and a relentless quest to assert her rights. When she died on September 10, 1167, in Rouen, Normandy, her passing marked the end of an era but left a significant legacy that shaped the future of England. Matilda's claim to the English throne was established in 1127 when her father, Henry I, designated her as his successor following the death of her brother, William Adelin, in the White Ship disaster of 1120. This move was unprecedented, as England had never been ruled by a woman, and it set the stage for a turbulent period in English history. Matilda's marriage to Henry V, Holy Roman Emperor, in 1114 earned her the title of Empress, further elevating her status in Europe. However, after Henry V's death in 1125, she returned to England, only to face the political realities of securing her inheritance. Matilda's father arranged a second marriage for her to Geoffrey Plantagenet, Count of Anjou, a union designed to strengthen her claim to the English throne through an alliance with a powerful noble house. Despite this strategic move, upon Henry I's death in 1135, a cousin Stephen of Blois quickly seized the throne, with the support of a significant faction of English nobility. Matilda's refusal to accept this usurpation led to a prolonged civil conflict known as the Anarchy, lasting from 1135 to 1153. The war was characterized by a series of sieges, battles, and shifting alliances that devastated much of England. Matilda's efforts to reclaim the throne were tenacious, but her campaign faced numerous setbacks, including her capture in 1141 and subsequent escape from the Tower of London. Despite these challenges, she maintained her position as a legitimate claimant to the throne and a formidable political force. Matilda's resilience and strategic acumen were instrumental in securing the future of her son, Henry II, who would ultimately become King of England in 1154. Her tenacity and determination to maintain her family's claim to the English crown ensured that the Plantagenet dynasty would rule for centuries. Matilda spent her final years in Normandy, where she focused on managing her estates, promoting religious institutions, and advising her son on matters of governance. Her death in 1167 at the Abbey of Notre-Dame-du-Pré near Rouen marked the end of a life characterized by ambition, perseverance, and a profound sense of duty. Although Matilda never achieved her ambition to rule England directly, her actions significantly impacted the English monarchy and medieval Europe. Matilda of England's death in 1167 represents more than the passing of a claimant to the throne. It marked the conclusion of a chapter in the dynastic struggles of medieval England, with her son Henry II's ascension bringing relative stability after years of conflict. Her legacy is one of strength, leadership, and the enduring impact of a woman who fought against the constraints of her time to shape the course of history. The year 1135, Stephen crowned King of England. The year 1135 marked a pivotal moment in English history with the controversial coronation of Stephen of Blois as King of England. Stephen's ascent to the throne not only defied the established succession plan, but also plunged the country into a period of civil war and unrest known as the Anarchy. The circumstances of his coronation and its consequences reveal much about the fragile nature of royal authority in medieval England and the complexities of feudal loyalty. Stephen was the grandson of William the Conqueror and the nephew of King Henry I. Despite his royal lineage, Stephen was not the first in line for the throne. Before his death, King Henry I had named his daughter, Matilda, as his heir. This decision was unprecedented, as England had never been ruled by a woman, and it faced significant opposition from the barons, who were reluctant to accept a female monarch. Nonetheless, Henry I worked diligently to secure oaths of loyalty to Matilda from his court, including from Stephen himself. The unexpected death of Henry I in December 1135 created a power vacuum that Stephen was quick to exploit. Although Matilda had been designated as heir, she was in Normandy at the time, far removed from the political epicenter of England. Stephen, seizing the opportunity, raced to London and garnered the support of key figures, including the influential Bishop of Winchester, his own brother. By strategically gaining the backing of the church and the barons, Stephen ensured his swift coronation at Westminster Abbey on December 22, 1135. Stephen's claim to the throne rested on two main arguments. First, he argued that the majority of England's barons preferred a male ruler, which reflected the patriarchal norms of the time. Second, he relied on the backing of the church, which questioned Matilda's suitability as a ruler due to her gender and her marriage to Geoffrey of Anjou, a member of a rival dynasty. By securing the church's endorsement, Stephen legitimized his rule in the eyes of many. However, this legitimacy was far from universal. The coronation of Stephen marked the beginning of a tumultuous reign characterized by instability and conflict. Matilda, refusing to accept Stephen's usurpation, mounted a challenge to his authority. Her supporters, including her half-brother Robert of Gloucester and other powerful nobles, contested Stephen's rule, leading to a prolonged civil war. Known as the Anarchy, this period was defined by shifting alliances, widespread violence, and the breakdown of centralized authority. England descended into chaos, with local lords asserting their power and the monarchy's influence waning. Despite his initial popularity, Stephen struggled to maintain control over a fragmented and war-torn kingdom. His inability to decisively defeat Matilda's forces weakened his reign, and his concessions to the barons further eroded royal authority. The conflict eventually ended in 1153 with the Treaty of Winchester, which recognized Matilda's son, Henry, as Stephen's heir. Stephen's coronation in 1135 was both a dramatic and consequential event in English history. It highlighted the fragility of royal succession, the power of the church, and the enduring tensions within the feudal system. While Stephen's reign is often overshadowed by the conflict that ensued, it remains a stark reminder of the challenges of medieval kingship and the enduring impact of political ambition on a nation's fate. Let's examine the Anarchy and its aftermath in greater detail. The Anarchy, 1135 to 1153, a period of chaos and transition. Political chaos and rivalry. The death of King Henry I of England in 1135 without a legitimate male heir plunged the realm into a period of civil war known as the Anarchy. Although Matilda had been named Henry's successor and received oaths of loyalty from the barons, her cousin Stephen of Blois seized the throne with the support of key nobles and the church. This usurpation sparked nearly 2 decades of conflict, as both claimants vied for control of England. The Anarchy exposed the fragility of feudal governance, as barons exploited the breakdown of royal authority to assert their autonomy. Chroniclers describe the period as one of widespread lawlessness and suffering. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle famously lamented that Christ and his saints slept, highlighting the pervasive violence and despair of the time. Key events and turning points. The Anarchy was marked by shifting alliances, sieges, and dramatic episodes. In 1141, Matilda's forces captured King Stephen at the Battle of Lincoln, a victory that briefly tipped the scales in her favor. Despite this, Matilda struggled to gain widespread support. The failure of her coronation attempt in London underscored the challenges she faced as a female claimant in a patriarchal society. The Treaty of Wallingford in 1153 marked the end of the Civil War, recognizing Stephen as king but naming Matilda's son, Henry of Anjou, as his heir. This compromise not only secured the Plantagenet succession but also highlighted the political savvy of both parties in avoiding further devastation. Economic and social consequences. The Anarchy devastated the English economy. Agricultural production plummeted due to constant warfare, and heavy taxation exacerbated the suffering of the peasantry. Urban centers became battlegrounds, disrupting trade networks and undermining economic stability. Nevertheless, the lessons of the Anarchy informed Henry II's governance, particularly his focus on restoring royal authority and reforming administrative practices. The period's hardships underscored the importance of centralized control and paved the way for the Plantagenet dynasty's long-term success. Historiography: reassessing Matilda's leadership. Medieval perspectives. Contemporary accounts of Matilda's leadership often reflect the gender biases of the medieval period. Chroniclers such as William of Malmesbury acknowledged her legitimate claim to the throne but criticized her assertiveness, describing her as haughty and unable to win the loyalty of her subjects. These narratives often contrasted her perceived failures with the successes of male rulers, perpetuating a view of Matilda as an unsuitable leader. Modern feminist interpretations. Feminist historians have re-evaluated Matilda's role, emphasizing her political acumen and resilience. Scholars such as Marjorie Shibnall highlight the systemic barriers Matilda faced and argue that her inability to secure the throne stemmed more from societal constraints than personal shortcomings. Her leadership during the Anarchy demonstrated remarkable strategic brilliance, particularly in moments like her escape from Oxford Castle. Modern scholarship reframes Matilda not as a failed monarch but as a trailblazer who challenged the patriarchal norms of her time. This reinterpretation enriches our understanding of her role in Plantagenet history and underscores the complexity of medieval power dynamics. The wider context: Angevin politics and society. The role of barons and local governance. The Anarchy highlighted the importance of baronial cooperation in maintaining political stability. The Treaty of Wallingford exemplified the need for compromise between the monarchy and the nobility, a theme that would define Plantagenet governance. This balance of power laid the groundwork for the development of institutions like Parliament, which emerged as a forum for negotiation and conflict resolution. Cultural and intellectual foundations. The 12th century was a period of cultural and intellectual flourishing. Geoffrey of Anjou's court championed chivalric ideals and promoted the arts, creating a cultural foundation that influenced the Plantagenet kings. The Angevin Empire became a center for literary and architectural innovation, reflecting the dynasty's commitment to blending tradition with progress. Broader European context. The Plantagenet dynasty's rise cannot be understood in isolation. The broader currents of medieval European politics, including the investiture controversy and the Crusades, shaped the environment in which they emerged. These events underscored the interconnectedness of European powers and highlighted the Plantagenet's ability to navigate complex alliances and rivalries. Conclusion. The origins of the Plantagenet dynasty were forged in a crucible of ambition, conflict, and resilience. Geoffrey of Anjou's strategic vision laid the groundwork for the family's rise to power, blending diplomacy, cultural innovation, and military strength. The Anarchy, despite its chaos, ultimately set the stage for the consolidation of Plantagenet rule under Henry II. Finally, the historiographical re-evaluation of Matilda's leadership highlights the enduring significance of her contributions, challenging traditional narratives and offering new insights into the complexities of medieval power dynamics. By examining the roots of the Plantagenets, we gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that shaped one of England's most influential dynasties. The challenges they overcame and the legacies they forged continue to resonate, providing a window into the political and cultural currents of medieval Europe. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe to Medieval Chronicles 1066 for more explorations in medieval history. Stay curious.